let's talk about how to make AI actually work for you. How to stop getting those kind of blah, generic answers and really start unlocking what these tools can do. It all comes down to mastering the art of the ask, what we call prompt engineering.
I'm sure you've been there, right? You ask ChatGPT or some other AI a question, and you're expecting this brilliant, insightful response. And what you get back is, well, just boring. It feels flat, totally uninspired, and honestly, not very helpful. You know the AI can do better, so what's going on?
This quote from the University of Sydney just hits the nail on the head. When you're vague with an AI, it has to guess. And its safest bet, it's always going to be the most common, most average, most probable response. In other words, you get the chicken.
So yeah, let's call this the generic chicken problem. It's not that the AI is being lazy, it's just designed to give you the most likely answer based on all the data it's been trained on. So without specific directions, it just defaults to the blandest, safest option. If you want a Michelin star meal, you've got to be a really specific customer.
The solution to this generic chicken problem, it's called prompt engineering. And listen, don't let the word engineering scare you off. This isn't about code or anything super technical. It's really just the art of giving better instructions. It's about choosing your words carefully to guide the AI exactly where you want it to go. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it from Ethan Mollick. He says we should stop seeing AI as just a fancy search engine and start thinking of it as a machine that we are programming with words. Suddenly, every word, every phrase you type becomes a line of code, telling that machine precisely what to build for you.
And you know what? That simple shift in thinking is a total game changer. The moment you realize you're the programmer, you see that the quality of what you get out is directly tied to the quality of your instructions. You are in control. So let's look at how you can become a fantastic programmer using just everyday language.
The good news is you don't need some huge, complex manual for this. All you really need is a simple, memorable framework. And for that, we're going to use CATS. It's a really easy acronym that'll completely change how you talk to AI.
Okay, so let's break down this CATS framework. Seriously, this is your secret weapon for getting exactly what you need from pretty much any generative AI out there.
First up, C is for context. This is the backstory. It's the who, what, where, when, and why of your request. So don't just ask for a proposal. Tell it you're a nonprofit director writing a grant proposal for a foundation that specifically funds environmental education projects for kids. See? You're giving it that crucial background info.
Next up, A is for angle. This is where you give the AI a personality, a point of view. Instead of just getting that neutral, generic voice, ask it to act as a critical peer reviewer, or maybe a supportive mentor, or a super witty marketing expert. This one simple change can dramatically alter the tone and the focus of the response. It's amazing.
Then we have T for task. This has to be crystal clear. Help me with my presentation is just way too vague. But what if you said, generate 3 surprising opening hooks for a presentation to an audience of small business owners? Now that is an actionable command. Be direct. Use strong verbs that tell the AI exactly what you want it to do. And finally, S is for style. How do you want the final output to look and sound? You need to specify the format. Do you want a table, a list of bullet points, a formal report, or maybe a casual email? And you have to define the voice too. Should it sound academic, conversational, simple enough for a teenager? This is how you really control that final product. All right, so theory is great and all, but let's actually put this into practice. We're going to look at a couple of before and after examples that show just how powerful a framework like CATS can be. The difference in the results is, well, it's pretty staggering. Okay, look at this, right about marketing. I mean, that's just asking for the generic chicken, right? But look at the after. It has everything. The angle, a seasoned B2B strategist. The context, a SaaS company with a new tool. The task, create a launch plan. And the style, a 3-stage outline. The result you're going to get from that is infinitely more valuable. And here's another fantastic example. The before prompt is just a simple question. But the after prompt is so much richer. We assign it the angle of a wildlife biologist. We give it the context of recent weather. The task is to predict the season. And the style, explain it to kindergartners. You're not just going to get a date back, you're going to get a creative, engaging, and memorable explanation. So once you've mastered that single prompt using CATS, the next level is to stop thinking about it as a single command. The real power here comes from treating your interaction with AI less like a transaction and more like a conversation. This is so important to remember. Your first prompt is just the beginning. The first answer you get back, Think of it as a first draft, a starting point. Your job is to then refine it. Push back on it, ask for changes, guide the AI. Don't be afraid to say, that's pretty good, but can you make it funnier? Or, okay, now rephrase that whole thing for a completely different audience.
And as you get more advanced, you can start thinking about different types of prompts. We've talked a lot about role-based prompting. That was the angle in our CATS framework. But you can also do something called few-shot prompting, where you give the AI a couple of examples of what you want and then ask it to create another one in the exact same style. It's a great way to teach it your specific needs really quickly.
So the whole process really just becomes this simple feedback loop. First, you write your initial prompt using a framework like CATS. Then, you analyze the response. Is it what you wanted? And finally, you refine it. You add more detail, you change the angle, or you tweak the style in a follow-up message to get closer and closer to that perfect outcome.
But, and this might be the most important part of this whole thing, is you, the human. AI is an incredibly powerful tool, no doubt, but it is just a tool, and it has some very real limitations that you absolutely need to be aware of.
You have to be critical. AI models can hallucinate, which is a fancy way of saying they can confidently state things that are completely made up. So the rule is simple. Always, always fact-check anything important. Think of the AI's output as a first draft written by a very fast, sometimes brilliant, but totally unreliable intern. You are the editor-in-chief.
And that brings us to our final and most critical takeaway. No matter how smart or conversational the AI seems, you have to remember this. It is not thinking. It's not your colleague. It's a very sophisticated pattern-matching machine. You are the expert. You are the critical thinker. You are the one in control. So the real question isn't just about how well you can prompt an AI. It's about how you can partner with it to elevate your own work and your own thinking.